Hi everyone. Okay, I am just trying again because I was getting loads of error messages the first time I went live. So I don't know what's happening, but I'm going to just crack on anyway and hopefully people are able to see me and I'm not just talking to myself. Right, so if you missed what I was saying before, I'm going to paint this piece today in chalk pastes. And chalk pastes are normally used for, they're very thick and they're normally used for things like raised stenciling, and I often use them for a little bit of dry brushing and things like that. So I'm actually going to be combining them today with Dixie Belle's Sea Spray, which is a texture additive, and I'm going to see if I can get a nice textured look with these. It's an experiment, I've never done it before, so we'll just have to see how it goes. I'm not seeing anything happening on here again, so I'm either very lonely today or my Facebook's not working, so I'm just going to crack on. My voice is not very good either, guys, so it might keep going, so I apologise. So I've just got a little piece of Tupperware, and I'm going to not apologise anymore. I realise I do that every live, I apologise for something. I think it's something to do with being English, to be honest. So you get this little scoop with it, and I am only going to start with a tiny little bit. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm not going to start with a lot because I'd rather just build it up rather than use too much sea spray and then use all of this chalk paste that I don't need. I've got my buckram binding, I think I'm pronouncing that right, and I'm just going to get a big spoonful. In fact, I'm going to do 3 of those spoonfuls. And I'm just going to mix and see what happens. You can see there. I'm getting it everywhere because I am messy. Okay, so it's mixing, it's creating texture. Okay, it seems to be working. It seems to be all over me as well. Okay, so there you go. So it's a lot thicker than maybe what it would be if you were using Dixie Belle's paint, but I kind of want a thick look today, so I'm cool with that. If I find it gets a little bit, in fact what I might do is I'm just going to get my water mister and I'm just going to spray a little bit of water in there just to loosen it up a tiny bit, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm liking that a lot more now. That's got some movement in it, so it should be kind of like thick, gloopy icing sugar. Okay, I'm not seeing anything, so I'm going to write hello again. I don't think I'm going to... Oh, it's not even letting me write comment. Oh, here we go. I don't think I'm going to be able to see anything today, unfortunately, guys. It's saying we're having trouble completing your request and things like that. So I'm just going to assume that I'm live, and I just apologise, I can't see anything. I don't know if anybody's watching, I don't know if anybody can see me, and I definitely can't see comments. So I'm just going to get cracking with this. Okay, so we've got, it's kind of like, just like an old slidey hutch. So you can see the door slide, we've got one here that opens. And I just thought it might be nice just to get a little bit of colour around these rims, and then the inside, I don't know what I'm doing with that yet, but I thought I would just show you this live today. I'm going to grab, when I can find it, I've got my chip brush, so I've got that. So I've got this buckram rinding chalk paste with texture additive. I'm going to get some on my brush and I'm just going to start stippling. I would advise that you masking tape the windows, but I am terrible. I actually find it easier to wipe the corners, and I hate fiddly things like messing around with masking tape and just fiddly things. I just really hate it, so I just tend to make a bit of an extra job for myself sometimes, and I tend to just wipe off the paint once I'm done. I'm just going to start stippling this on around those edges. So immediately I can see this is going on like chalk paint. I'm liking it. It's a nice colour. These chalk pastes are quite pigmented. Ignore the fact I'm getting it on the glass already. So, and then the sea spray has definitely mixed well with the paste. So I'm just going to stipple this on, and by stippling, what I mean is you just dab your brush. And if your arm gets a little bit tired, you can just kind of do little jabbing movements, but I just prefer just to get an old brush and make sure it is old because it will ruin your bristles. I like natural bristles on my brush because it creates more texture, and I'm just jabbing it straight on there. I'm quite heavy-handed, so it tends to get on there quite quickly for me anyway. So down here, where it slides, I am going to put it down here, but once I've finished the whole piece, I will sand that back and I will add some Big Mama's butter, which is a beeswax, and it will help the piece then slide. Because what I don't want is the chalk paint to stop the sliding movement. But the Big Mama's Butter from Dixie Belle will help that. Or if you have some beeswax or any other clear wax, that should be fine. So I'm just sticking this on there. And I don't mind if bits of the wood poke through at this point. This is a lovely warm colour. And I might just do half of it, so then I can show you the other half afterwards. I cut my fringe today and it's doing my head in already. I'm just trying to brush it out of my eyes. So again, sorry guys, I cannot see comments. I cannot see anything. I don't even know if I'm live right now. I'm just hoping that I am. So I'm just going to slip this on. It's really weird actually, because whenever my comments don't work, I feel like I'm talking to myself a little bit. And I haven't been live for a month, so I was kind of hoping that it would have been nice just to chat with a few of you all and say hello to, you know, to some of you, but unfortunately I can't see who's on. So I'm just tapping away. Can you guys see that? Yes, you can. Ignore my messy floor as well. I am messy. I sometimes get right in the zone with things and I think, ooh, I should probably put a top coat or something down at this point, and then I get kind of in the zone. I think, oh, I'll just clean it up later, and then, yeah, I'm just going to make a mess. I don't know if anybody else ends up doing that. So you can see here, I will bring you in closer in a mo. This is going on very nicely, and I don't really think you can tell any difference at this point between the icing paste, sorry, the chalk paste and chalk paint. Just for those of you who have joined, this is the book and rinding chalk paste that I'm using, and I've mixed it with sea spray. And I tend to use sea spray for most of my projects these days because it's a lovely texture additive and it helps me create that rustic old world look that I like. Look at that, I'm making such a mess. Oops, hang on, I'm going to grab my, I'm just going to wipe it off a little bit. I didn't think I'd be making this much of a mess. It's not wiping off. Okay, it's going to need a little bit of water. I will do that afterwards. You should put masking tape on, guys, if you're doing anything with windows or mirrors. But I do find chalk paste, chalk paints, things like that can come off really, really easily anyway. So as long as they're not sealed and you just get a little bit of window lean or something, you know, window cleaner, it just tends to come straight off. So I don't often worry. But I know there'll be a few people on here who like their prep and are very kind of much better at me at doing things properly, and they're probably kind of looking and thinking, oh no, stop it. Right, so this is going on very quickly, and that's good because I'm hoping I'm live and I'll kind of do this as quickly as I can today. If you have any questions, guys, just pop them in the comments and I will pick them up afterwards, and I will have to answer them once I've done live today. So this is just a, I'm just trying to think, this is a chip brush from Dixie Belle that I'm using. And it's a natural bristled brush. And natural bristles create a lot of texture. And also, I find that they bounce back a lot easier. So I do a lot of techniques like this, and they just bounce back a lot easier than a normal bristle brush. I can say bristle brush would. Try saying that. And also, you wouldn't want to get one of your favourite brushes and use sea spray or any texture additive, and this technique as well, because it will just ruin your brush. Eventually the bristles will get out of place. I'm making noise now, can you see? Yes. So if you have any thoughts of what I could do inside as well, that would be awesome. I'm still debating whether or not to put, I don't think I've got enough transfers for like one big transfer in there, so I think I'm tempted at the moment to paint it and then use the damask stencil, you know, the one by Prima, and it's like a lovely kind of big stencil, and I'm thinking about putting that in there maybe. Or I do have the kind of gilded distressed gold transfer, so maybe I'll chop that up and make it look like distressed gold. I don't know yet. It's also not telling me how long I've been live for, so I'm just going to do it and hope that I can't see me going over an hour today. So okay, ignore the mess that I'm making. Right. So what's up next? So we've got that on. I'm going to just heat it up in a moment. But what's often very good with sea spray or any other texture additive is putting another layer on top with a different colour. So I've got another piece of Tupperware here. I'm going to grab my sea spray again. I've lost the, this is what I mean, I'm so messy. I'm always losing things and I'm just extremely scatty all the time. Okay, just need to take a breath. Right, so I've just got this little bit here, look, if you can see that, not a lot. I'm going to put that in my Tupperware. Going to wipe this spoon down that I used earlier. And now I've not tried this colour before, it's just new. I just ordered it and received it a couple of days ago, but it's called Cranberry. I always forget what my camera is. Cranberry. And I'm kind of excited to use this. It's kind of like, I'm not very good at describing colours, but it's like got a bit of a plum kind of reddy tone in there, maybe a bit of Bordeaux colour, and it's just beautiful. So I think this is going to work really well on top of the buckram rinding. I keep thinking buckram binding, sorry, I think I'm saying that right. So again, I'm just going to get 3 scoops of this cranberry in with my texture additive. I'm going to spritz a little bit of water. Whoops, and now I'm throwing things. Spritz a little bit of water. I need to get my sea legs back for lives, guys. It's been a whole month and I just feel like right out of it, especially because I can't talk to anybody. Right, so, and then I'm just going to give it a good stir. So if you're feeling like it's too gloopy, you can either add a little bit more chalk paste, but what I would probably suggest is just using a little bit of water, because the chalk pastes are very thick anyway. So water's probably your best bet. Let me feel, okay, I'm just going to give this, hang on. Just wondering where I put my hairdryer now. Just one sec, guys. I'm just going to grab my hairdryer and then I'm just going to give this a blow dry. So just give me 2 minutes. So I just want to make sure that the first layer is completely dry before I put on the second layer. I always hate having to dry things on live, but sometimes you have to, otherwise you can't move on to the next step. Beauty of chalk paste are they dry really quick, especially when they've got texture additive in them as well. Okay, so that wasn't long at all, was it really? So just grab another brush. So I'm going to grab another chip brush. And I'm going to start putting this on the top. And this is the cranberry mixed with texture additive, the sea spray. You don't have to worry about full coverage at this point. It's fine if some of the wood still pokes through a little bit, or if some of the original colour pokes through, it's absolutely fine. It is going to be a distressed look. I'm going to be giving it a very light sand. but I think these colours complement each other really well, and I will bring you in closer in a moment. So again, if for those of you who joined, I can't see a thing, I can't see comments, I can't see any, I can't even tell if I'm live right now or if anybody's actually watching. So it doesn't, it's just completely like a black hole there at the moment, so I have no idea. I really love this colour actually, this is a really gorgeous colour. And you know, and if you have different colours that you love, so the chalk paste is quite a large range. So another one of my favourites in the chalk paste range is the, it's called Neptune. It's like a really bright green turquoise and it's very pigmented and thick. So you know, you can just grab two colours, two of your favourite colours, it doesn't necessarily have to be these ones, and you know, just do your thing with them. So as you're doing this as well, as you're stippling, it's good to do it in different directions, because then it creates different texture. And again, just ignore the window panes please, I'm going to be cleaning them afterwards. I've been lazy with them. I'm probably just going to focus on this little bit here now. Let me just check what time it is. Okay, so I've been live for 20 minutes. We'll see how time goes, and I'm going to show you a little bit of something else afterwards as well. I'm going to show you how to glaze it with some of the metallic, the opal magic stuff. So it's up to you, you can have a heavy hand or a light. I'm quite heavy handed. It's probably better actually just to have a light hand when it comes to stippling. And if also, so down here it's still a little bit damp, I've just missed it, and you could also sometimes leave little damp areas and it will kind of blend together and it will create like a little tonal contrast in the piece that you're painting. So what I'm thinking, guys, is on the sides, I'm thinking about having the, is it the Violet Hill transfer? So I'm thinking about having the Violet Hill transfer on the sides, which has these kind of beautiful colours in the transfer already, which will complement it. And then inside, I'm thinking maybe painting it black, or maybe a brownie border colour, I'm not sure yet. And using some gold of the damask stencil. That's kind of what's jumping out at me right now. But if you guys have got any ideas, let me know. So you can see here now, let me just bring you guys a little bit closer. My tripod's broken. This is like the third tripod I've bought and they all break. So ignore that. That's a bit embarrassing. I should have really taped it up. So hopefully you can see some of the texture that's coming through. We've got a little bit of the book, let me see if I can remember it, buckram binding, I think it's called, coming through, which is a lovely kind of beigey brown. And if I go to the buckram binding here, you can see here the texture of that as well. So it does create beautiful texture. The texture additive works really well with it because the chalk paste is already really thick. So I'm going to give this, I feel like I'm whizzing through a little bit. I feel like it's because I don't really know what's happening with the live. But as I say, if I've gone too fast, if you've got any questions, just let me know and I can always answer them afterwards. Alright, so I'm going to lightly sand this in a moment. Before you lightly sand it, you need to make sure that it is completely dry, otherwise it's just going to tear the whole 2 layers of paint and additive off. Next time I do a live, I'll make sure that I've got a device as well. It's so weird, I don't know what's happening. Okay, it's saying people are popping on now, so if you're on there, could you just drop me a comment, please? I really don't know what's happening with this live, I don't know, because it's like loads of people are now showing up, so I don't know if you've always been on here or if you've only just popped on. Facebook's really messed up right now, so I don't know. Okay, so I've got my sanding sponge. And it's just a very soft sanding sponge and it's kind of well used. Guys, if you're popping on, I don't know if you've been on from the start or if you're only just popping on, can you just drop me a comment? I'm just curious to know if you can see them. I really don't know what's happening with this live today. It's really gone a little bit funky with Facebook. Okay, so as I'm sanding, it's going to bring more, not only is it going to smooth it out so that the doors kind of open and close a lot easier, it's not going to be scraping, but also it's going to show some of the buckram binding that's on underneath. See, I thought Facebook had fixed all these issues with lives, but it looks like maybe they haven't. But I will bring my, I'll bring another device next time so that I can check on comments and things and make sure that I am actually live. So for those that are just joining, I have used 1 layer of buckram binding chalk paste, and that is a really lovely brown beigey colour, and I've mixed it with texture additive. I've then dried it, made sure it's completely dry. I've then gone in with the cranberry chalk paste and mixed it with texture additive and done the same. Yeah, I'm just going to give it a very light sand. Okay. It's a lovely colour, that cranberry, and it's complementing each other really well. You remember what I said about being heavy-handed? Keep knocking this thing over. Okay, so I'm going to not do any more sanding, and then the last thing I'm going to do, and again this is all experimental, I've never done it before, I still can't see comments, I still don't know what's happening, I can see somebody's watching, but I've been live for ages and it's only just showing me this stuff, so I don't know. So this is, as I say, a little bit experimental, so I don't know how this is going to turn out. So I've got some, so this is icing paste, and I've only just ordered these, I've never used them before. And this one is in the colour of rose gold. I think this is the one that I want. No, hang on, sorry. No, it's not the one. I want this one. Red amber, sorry. So this is the colour of red amber. You can see it's a gorgeous, can you see that? It's a little bit iridescent, a bit of a metallic kind of shine to it. I'm just going to use the top of my Tupperware here. And I'm just going to scrape a little bit of that onto there, like this. You can see that's very thick. I've probably used a little bit too much, so I'm just going to scrape a little bit off. I'm going to grab my water mister and I'm just going to give this a good spritz. Make sure there's plenty of water settling on top of there. You could use a bowl, but I couldn't find one before my live. I'm just going to grab an artist brush for this. I'm going to mix it up. I don't know how it works mixed with water. I've no idea how this is going to turn out. So we'll just have to see. I've got some kitchen roll and I'm just going to kind of paint this on. Oh wow, it's actually looking quite sparkly. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to grab my kitchen roll and I'm just going to, this is called ragging, I'm just going to pat it, and that's going to take off any excess, and it's also going to leave like a bit of a patinaed kind of look. So it's like a soft glaze rather than a thick icing paste. So the icing paste have recently been added to the Prima site as well, and local stockists are starting to get them in, and they're just these really beautiful, thick, they're similar to the chalk pastes, however, the more metallic, they're really pretty. So what I am saying here is I don't really think it's working very well mixed with water. So I'm going to forget the watery bit and I'm just going to put it straight on from the tub. And then I'm just going to pat and create that patina. It's very soft actually, it's very pretty. I'll change my brush as well because that's too watery. So I can't see any comments, guys, today. Again, I've had so many issues with my Facebook going live today, so I don't really know what's been happening with it. But I've been live for ages and it's only just started showing me, I think it's only just started posting me as live, so it's Facebook's fault. So I'm just putting this all around the edge of the door. And then ignore the glass, I've made a bit of a mess of the glass today. I didn't put on masking tape. And I'm just going to pat. So we've got a lot of texture on here now. We've got a lot of, so we've got a little bit of a patina happening here now. So we're turning this icing paste into a glaze. Just going to get into this corner here. Can you guys see that? Yes. These icing pastes are well worth a try if you haven't tried them. They're beautiful. They're very good for stenciling as well. I used one yesterday for a silk stencil and it was just so pretty. Okay. Let me just bring you guys closer so you can see that metallic. So if I bring you closer, ignore that. That's not part of the look. Can you see that? Sorry, it's a little very bit there. Do you see that metallic that's starting to build up here now? So we're getting this like kind of patinaed metallic look, and I just think that's really pretty. I do like my metallics. I tend to put metallics on everything, but I don't like them thick and bold. I like them to be quite sort of subdued. So the last thing I'm going to try, I don't know if this is going to fit. I don't know if it's going to fit. I'm going to try it anyway. Is the silk stencil. So these are kind of like stencil stamps. So you peel them off. They're made from really kind of lovely fabric. It's kind of like a film of fabric over them, and then you stick them on. Make sure you get it straight. You stick them on like that. I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer so you can see this. Ooh. This Facebook is not going to plan today. It's okay, that's probably as close as I can bring you at the moment. I'm going to grab another icing paste. I'm just trying to find the one that I want. So I'm going to grab the emerald colour. And this is a beautiful kind of metallic green. And I'm just going to tap this over the top. So it almost looks like it isn't going on because there's this very fine film there on the silk stencil, but in fact what it's creating is this very kind of soft colour, so it's going to look almost kind of distressed. And I'm just going to stipple and pat this on. And what you can do as well is build up colours. So I'm now going to grab the metallic paint. I'm still getting used to all the names and colours of these. I don't know what this one's, Brass Hardware this one's called. They come in little pots like this, and again it's another little metallic paint. And I'm just going to stipple this over the top as well. And when you peel it off, you should find that there's this really kind of soft looking stencil sort of stamp sort of look there, but we'll see. I'm going to peel this off now. Can you guys see that? Hang on, let me bring you in, see if I can get you in even a little bit closer. Ignore the mess on the windows. So if I start to peel this off now, it should look kind of old and a little bit aged. And there should be a couple of different colours in there as though it's kind of fading. So I put the green on there because when you think of things aging and fading, they tend to have like a little like metal and things and gold. Maybe not gold because that doesn't corrode, but copper especially, you get this kind of green look, and that's because it's patinaing and it's becoming weathered and it's eroding. So if you look there, these stencils are super pretty. These silk stencils, you can probably use them more than once on a project as long as you do it straight away. Because they will lose their stickiness over time, and then the paint will dry over the top, and then obviously the stencil will be covered, you won't be able to use it. But they look so pretty with the metallics, so the new Icing Paste and metallics that Prima have just added into their shop. I'm losing my voice now. So guys, I'm really sorry, I don't really know what's happened with this live today. We're a bit personal there, I'll just move you back a little bit. So I've been live for a long time and I don't know if it posted properly, I can't see comments, I can't see anything. So next time, I am live again next week. You can watch this on replay if you want to see the beginning part, because I did do a lot of textured look on this store here. Ignore the other ones, they're not finished. We're focused mostly on this one. And so next week I'll be going live at the same time again, 5 o'clock GMT. BST, British Summertime. I don't know if we're in British Summertime. I don't know. 12 o'clock EST anyway. So I'll be live next week and I'll be doing the door knockers, and I'll make sure I bring a device with me so that I can read all your comments and everything in case it doesn't work properly. Facebook is also not allowing me at the moment to create events for some reason. So yeah, Facebook is just not my friend right now. But thank you guys for popping on. If you have any questions, I will read them afterwards and I will answer them. So just pop them in the comments below and have a wonderful week. Bye bye.